Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are really excited to bring you another interview with one of the Hallmark talented actresses. And we have Charlotte Sullivan here. And you're going to be in your first Hallmark movie coming up, which is exciting. And Charlotte, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah. So, what we like to do on our podcast is we like to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us what inspired you to become an actress.
Oh, that's so tough. I never know how to answer that question, but I will try my best. So my name is Charlotte, and I started at least daydreaming or becoming like morbidly, obsessed with movies as a kid, like lots of children. But my reaction to movies was just a little bit different. Like I would get so insanely jealous of movies that had already been made
Uh-huh.
and that I like wanted to be in them. And my mom's like, "Well, that movie was done in 1952, so you couldn't have even been in that movie."
That's
So
so funny.
there was just like a really strange reaction. Yeah, like I definitely, I would, I don't know, it just was different, and I was pretty obsessed with movies, just like any other kid. But there
Yeah.
was just something weird. Like I'd watch a movie, but I would really memorize everything and then just literally, like, I'm not even joking, like I would projectile like vomit if I couldn't be in like Labyrinth or something. And my mom's like, "Yeah, well, too late because you weren't born." So yeah, so that's a really very strange
Yeah.
answer, but it came from like jealousy
So
is
you're
really
gonna
what it
you're
was.
gonna petition extra hard to get into the when they do that Labyrinth remake that they're always talking about.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel I'm such a purist, so I'm like, I
Yeah.
like my whole thing is why remake something so wonderful? Like, why don't
Yeah.
you remake like a flop and make it better? So for me, I just, oh
Yeah.
God,
No,
I
I
don't
agree
know.
with
I
you
couldn't.
there.
It's just,
Like the Disney
yeah.
live action remakes, it's just like why bother remaking Beauty and the Beast? It's perfect as it is. Why
It's
are you
already, yeah, it's
remaking?
already, but anyway,
Yeah.
I know like the remake, some things are dated and you need to, obviously like reintroduce them to a new
Uh-huh.
generation, but that movie is like, you can't like, oh my God,
Right.
it's so singular.
Yeah.
It's to the left. It's so unique.
Well,
And
that's
anyway,
good.
but no, so yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
but I don't think I could do
So
that.
you grew up watching a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's like such a typical kind of answer, but it was just, yeah, this really, like, I remember even watching the movie E.T., and I
Uh-huh.
was watching it with a friend, and then they were watching me watch the movie, and then they made fun of me because I was literally, like, just mouthing the ans like,
Yeah,
the
the words.
responses and kind of emoting, and I
Yeah.
remember I just remember getting caught, like, getting it was, like, something I
Uh-huh.
would do when I was alone, but I guess I let it
Uh-huh.
slip, so, yeah, I don't
Well,
know,
I would
very
do
strange.
I would get really into film too, and particularly into kind of talking about it and analyzing it. And that was something my family did. My brother was really into film, so was my sister, and we're all kind of into different types of film. I always loved musicals. That was and still do to this day, and animation and still do
Do
to
you
this
sing?
day. Well, I mean, I'm
Are
not a
you a
professional,
singer?
but I love singing. Yeah. I get great joy
Okay.
from it.
I always love pretending. Yeah, I love pretending that I can
Yeah.
sing. That would be so, like, dope if I
Yeah.
could, like, pump it out. I don't know how
Well, I
those
mean,
guys
I am a pretty decent
it's like
singer.
it's
I'm a terrible
okay.
dancer. I'm yeah, I'm a terrible dancer, and so that's what hurts me in musicals. I could never get cast in musicals because 'cause I'm such a bad dancer, but I love to sing.
But, like, in terms of dancing, like, are you when you say you're bad, is it just in like, you just need time to practice? Like, I think that if you like, I don't think if I see someone dance and then I have to repeat the steps that they're doing,
Ooh,
I wouldn't be able to do it.
yeah.
But if you gave me time, like, I think you would. You
A
don't think
lot of
like
time.
a little bit of
I would need a
extra
lot of
time and
time.
you could pop yourself into one of those movies?
I would need a
A
lot of
lot.
time.
Years of
Yeah.
preparation. Okay.
I 'Cause I'm
You're trying to master
slightly
it. I see.
I'm well,
Okay.
I'm
I see
slightly
what's
dys I'm slightly dyslexic, and so it's hard for me to learn those kind of patterns and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's tough. I don't know. Are you into musicals? Do you like musicals?
Well, this is so funny. I remember going to go see the new Les Mis, and
Uh-huh.
I you're gonna make fun of me so hardcore because I hadn't seen the original, and I like in terms of seeing it on
Uh-huh.
stage, like I hadn't seen it, and I thought when I went, I was like, "Oh, they're singing throughout the whole movie." I was like, "Oh, every scene." I was like, I didn't realize, like, I guess the musicals that I'd been used to was like, they break out in song, but this was like, "Oh my god, like, this is every
Yeah.
scene." I was like, so, there's yeah, it's not totally my bag, but, I don't know, I think that, like, obviously those, like, Christmas movies, those, like, The
Uh-huh.
White Christmas and those things, like, they're so nostalgic.
Uh-huh.
I I definitely get swept away in those types of films, but a
Yeah.
little
They
bit
can
bored,
be
but,
they can be a
I don't
little bit much sometimes,
well,
but
sometimes, but I don't wanna rain on your parade.
not at all, not at all. So
I can't, I don't wanna crush your dreams.
no, not at all. So do you remember your first role that you ever got?
Well, this wasn't really a role, it was I remember we answered an ad in the paper, and it was for Liza Minnelli was doing this music video, and it was all to like, for AIDS research,
Mhm.
and I remember going we went it was like an open call like so many people went and they were going to call us like they were just going to call us like a couple days later and they didn't call and I was like really crushed and then the day that I thought it was they were not calling they did call and they said they wanted me and my brother is so not this type of like he does not want to do this and I was so mad with him. I was like, "You we're gonna miss school for this, like, please,"
Yeah.
like, and, yeah, so I remember dragging him, and it was the first time I'd been on set, and they had transformed the set, like, from the morning, we shot a sequence, and then I remember they painted the entire studio the following day, and I remember, like, the buzz of kind of, like it was just really exciting to be I was just, like, in the background. I didn't have anything, like, significant or anything, but it definitely planted that, like, very creative bug because the people that were around, like, Gloria Stefan had translated all of the like, the lyrics for the music video,
Uh-huh.
and Liza, like, sat on the floor with us, and I don't know, it was just, like, a really unique, like, experience, and it for a first experience especially, like, it was, like, such
Yeah.
a bonkers world, and then even the really beautiful makeup artist, I don't know if you're familiar with him, was, like, Kevin Aucoin, who was, like he's just, like, most iconic guy. He was there doing the makeup, but, I was so little, so I didn't know, like, everybody, I didn't know who they
Uh-huh.
were, but it was more just me being, like, really into, like, the set life because I thought it was so magical.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, at the feet of Liza, I mean, come
Yeah,
on. What a way to start.
yeah, and she was so lovely, like, she was oh my gosh, like, she sat on the ground, like, she wasn't, like, she worked hard on this
Uh-huh.
thing, and she was also really appreciative that everybody had given their time. Like, I do remember her she just was she did not act like a it's certainly not in my like, I didn't witness anything. She was so special and such a like, a
Uh-huh.
sweetheart to everybody. And I just remember her being literally, like, on the ground with all of us studying these lyrics um, and just, like, a really down to earth, beautiful, very funny. I remember her laugh, like so, yeah, and I think it was, like, it was right before Christmas we shot it, and so it was, like it just had, like, the buzz of magic. It just was a really special experience.
That's awesome. So you've done a number of, I think, what they call in the business procedurals with Ricky Blue and Chicago Fire and shows
Yes.
like that.
Yep.
So what is it like being on that kind of a show?
Well, those shows in particular, I had the most fun of my life. Like, it really was the most insanely beautiful, pure experience,
Uh-huh.
especially doing Rookie. I was surrounded with literally people that I will be friends with till I die. It was magic. Like I got to act every day, play cops and robbers, and there was just so much laughing. And the lead, Missy, she's just like she's so much fun and so sweet and made it such a special experience. I can't tell you. And then also
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Fire was also a really special one because that cast and crew are pretty incredible too. Like sometimes when you go on to a new show that's already been well established, like they were, or I think they had already been like 5 or 6 seasons in, and yet I thought, oh God, they're gonna have their little cliques, and it's gonna be really difficult for me to like. It's always best for me to come in with low expectations because then I'm always really pleasantly surprised. But
Mm-hmm.
it was the most. It was so joyful. Like it was a really beautiful set, and I had my baby. I think like not that long before, and they were just really accommodating and like and the actors were lovely. Like I had this one actor who I didn't even work with him, but he like showed up on my last day just for support. Like just, he was there really supportive and lovely. It was a good group
Mm-hmm.
of people.
That's great. Do they have
Yeah.
like actual sort of firefighters and policemen that are there to kind of that they have as consultants for those kinds of shows?
I believe they do. I mean, I didn't have to like I wasn't playing a firefighter, so I certainly didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
learn or study any of those things, but they definitely were on hand. I mean, I think it's also just by proxy. I think a lot of even paramedics, they're actual paramedics, they get used on the
Mm-hmm.
show. And so they then become just because they know the vernacular and they know what to do. So
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes actors will then end up asking, is this the right thing? Would I be saying this? Would I be putting my hand here? Would I, so that's
Yeah.
kind of like you're grateful to have them on set so you don't look really incompetent, which I am. So it's nice to feel that's
Yeah.
how I do it.
Now, was it always your goal to get onto television as opposed to like stage or other types of acting?
Oh my god, I feel like stage I have such stage fright for even television that oh man, I don't know. I literally it's like diarrhea, vomiting, like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like the thought of going on a stage is just terrifying
Terrifying.
to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd rather die, I think. So I don't think it's in the cards.
That's funny.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
to think like I already have so much stage fright just for something that
uh-huh.
requires multiple takes. So if
Yeah.
something was no
Well,
takes, oh
how do you
gosh,
deal with
no.
that if you have that stage fright? How do you overcome that?
It's so weird. I didn't I think I've gone through moments like when I was really young where I was very fearful of working and developed a stutter at the beginning of my acting career and then quit acting because I really hated it and didn't
Uh,
like this experience. And then you're told that after 10,000 hours you'll get really good at something. Well,
uh-huh.
that did not happen for me, and my anxiety and my stage fright is probably worse than it was before. So my poor husband, he has to deal with me before and anytime I accept a job, I'm a
Uh-huh.
mess. Like I it's like a self-sabotage thing. I don't know. I really wish I could
No,
like
I can relate to
enjoy the
that
feeling more.
because I will get anxiety about a big project or a big thing coming up. I used to do these open water swims. I haven't done one for a little bit, but I used to work so hard and I I felt like sometimes it was almost worse the harder I worked because I it was just like more and more it was up first, more as opposed to me just like, "Oh, this sounds fun. Let's do it." As opposed to when I'm really
Right.
trying to do well, that it was almost worse. I was just like, why
God.
should I just it was almost better when I just was like, "Yeah, let's try this. This sounds fun."
Ugh,
And
isn't it
so
brutal? And then the feeling of,
yeah.
like, wanting to throw up, like, it's not that is real.
Yeah,
It's a real feeling. And and
deep
I
breathing.
don't know how you feel with this. Well, but if you're swimming, like, you will die. Like, you're literally are gonna die. Like,
Yeah. Well, and that's
I
the thing is
don't.
that like I know that I can do it. I put in the work, but for some reason there's just that
Right.
like anxiety of that week of it's just like, oh, awful.
You're a
And
mess.
then
It's
once I
terrible.
do
I
it,
know.
it's incredible and it feels so good. I finished 13 of
See,
them.
my thing, and I don't know if this is like, this is, I need to get out of this because I find that when I'm really relaxed and I go into something feeling like it's going to be such a great experience,
Uh-huh.
I am always let down. So
Oh.
now I'm like, well,
Oh.
now I have to wish that it's going to be think it's going to be a bad experience, and then I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, hopefully the
So it's
podcast
about, it's about
hopefully this interview is maybe you went into it with bad expectations and then you'll come out feeling great.
I was I was so nervous,
Oh,
okay? Like, I was so nervous. I was. I'm just so
yeah.
not, I don't know what to say. I always feel like I'm gonna say the wrong thing, yeah, I don't like,
Yeah.
even if I had practiced this, I think, I
You're,
still would be
you're doing
quite,
great.
I mean,
Doing
I guess, like, you're so sweet. Maybe you can help me look cool, and you can edit it and make me look better.
okay, I will. Promise. No, you're doing really well. So is it fun after doing all these sort of intense shows that you do? Is it fun breaking it and doing like a light rom-com?
I will say, okay, was particular with this film that I just did for Hallmark.
Uh-huh.
I like I think especially with this year, like, I
Yeah.
needed something light. Like, and I'm not just saying this, like, it was such a joyful experience. And I was like, oh my gosh, if they could all be like this, like, it didn't feel like work. And so I think there's obviously times, like, I think comedy is a really tough thing to do. So the lighter fare, it's not the subject matter itself. I think it's just like the tonality of
Mhm.
something when you feel, I don't know, when you just realize, like, oh, this is to make people happy. Like, it's like, well, in because we're doing this, it's making me happy. Like, it
Oh,
was a really cool experience. So I would
that's
say I
great.
enjoy, I really, it's really has nothing to do, like, in terms of like what I want to, like, the next thing I do, or
Uh-huh.
what I've done in the past. Like, it's never really totally about the the subject matter. It's mostly, I mean, it should be, but mostly I'm like, I want to work with good people. I want to be surrounded by kind people. I want to have fun at work. Like, I that's my wish. Like, that's really my wish. And then the collaborative aspect of it is the thing that I get the most joy out of. But in terms of of the light comedy, I think I needed it right now,
I don't
like,
blame you. I mean,
more than I've ever needed it.
yeah, I feel like I need to watch these movies, let alone, cover them on the podcast. So I get it because it's just been so crazy. It's so hard that I think we need these light,
Yeah.
fluffy, fun romantic comedies. We
Oh
really
my
do.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I can't tell you, like, everybody on our set hadn't, like, most of them hadn't worked
Uh-huh.
until this film, and
Yeah.
so they'd gone months without, either, like, being around people. I cannot tell you the joy of this movie.
Yeah.
It was like seeing
Oh,
humans, and I laugh. I can't tell you how much I laughed on this film. Like, I just was like elated, like, while we were doing it.
oh my
So
gosh.
hopefully that translates. But
I am
I
so
haven't seen
excited.
it yet, so I don't know. But it
Uh-huh.
was like just
That's
okay.
great. I
Well, I
love
don't
that.
remember, low expectations. I don't know how.
No, they say the secret of happiness in life is low expectations. So,
Yes, well, that's what I'm doing. So
um,
yeah, that is how I'm doing it.
yeah. So you were in a rom-com called The 12 Pups of Christmas, and I have to ask you about it because it was kind of bonkers, I think.
Mhm.
It was, I mean,
Oh,
it's just like,
completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it started out with her getting dumped by her
Mhm.
fiance who's cheating on her with her best friend, and I'm like, what is that? Um,
I
but
know, and then also my character, like, quickly forgives her friend, like, I was like, "This is
yeah.
crazy." Like,
Well,
what? But
and then
yeah, no, it was bonkers, that's the right word.
yeah. And then her friend is kind of stalking her, trying to get back in her good graces. And it was a
Yes.
weird little movie. And I just what was that like to
Yes.
make?
Yeah, I was scared you were gonna ask this question. This is what I remember from making the film is that I was very sick while we made this film,
Oh
and
no.
I had the worst case of pink eye, like pink eye
Oh.
throughout the whole film, and they had to digitally correct it in
Oh.
post-production. But, yeah, it was it you know, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It was I think you had the right word. It was very bonkers.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
Um,
bonkers. Yes,
yeah,
I agree with
but
you.
lots of puppies, so that's fun.
Well, the truth is that we actually did not have a lot of puppies. I think they only had, I think, 5. And
Oh,
so they
really?
had to make it look like we had more. So, yeah, I don't yeah,
Oh,
but yes,
sneaky,
puppies.
sneaky.
There were puppies. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh my
That's really
gosh.
funny.
Yeah,
Uh, wow,
a
it
little
was
behind the scenes a
definitely
bit.
yeah, that's interesting. So when you said Two for the Win was your first movie coming back after COVID. Was this your first shoot post like
Mhm.
in with the COVID restrictions that you
No,
were in, or were you
I
doing a show?
no, I did something beforehand, but this was the first time, like, I'd been on location somewhere, and I it
Uh-huh.
was yeah, the protocols were wild, like, very different.
Yeah.
Um, the weirdest thing I will say, at the end of filming, I mostly, you're really, it's like such a close in terms of like how fast you shoot, it's really quick and you're with these people for 3 weeks and it's an
Uh-huh.
intense amount of 3 weeks. And I realized I didn't know what these people looked like because everyone's wearing a mask. So I was like, if I saw you walking down the street, even though like I just spent 3 weeks with you, I don't think I'd recognize you. Like, so and I had seen this one girl, she had lowered her mask, and I was like, that is so not what I was picturing under your mask. Like, so it was a really that was weird. And then the protocols for physical contact in the film, like so my character and Trevor's character, it's romantic. So of course we're going to be close.
Uh-huh.
But the COVID restrictions were wild. Like they had to douse our faces with alcohol and uh, then we had to gargle with Listerine for 2 minutes in between every moment of contact. So I mean, our faces were burning.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that Listerine does not kill COVID, but okay, like I'll do it anyway. And we're getting tested like twice a week, and so that you definitely feel like I felt safe. I felt very
Uh-huh.
safe because
That's
everyone was
good.
getting tested every few days. Yeah, and also we weren't going anywhere. You know what I mean? We were all staying in the same spot, and so it was really like I mean, even if we wanted to go anywhere, we couldn't. So we were just it just felt like a safe thing to do, but it was also wildly bizarre for sure.
So did you have to quarantine in Vancouver?
No, we shot this film in Ottawa, and I
Oh,
had
okay.
already quarantined prior to this. So Trevor had to quarantine, but I did not. And yeah, I recently actually just had to quarantine, so I'm like so done with quarantining. I can't. It's like I can't do it. It makes you so crazy. But
That's
yes, yeah, no, Trevor had to, but I didn't have to for this
well, that's good. So why don't you tell us a little bit
one. Mhm.
about the movie?
So this is based on a book called
Uh-huh.
Sleigh Bells in the Snow.
Okay.
But we changed the name, and it's a really a story about second chances. So,
Uh-huh.
for instance, my character Kayla Green, she had a shot at becoming like a really very pronounced professional ski coach 15 years ago, but sort of let that moment pass. And her best friend went on to basically achieve greatness. And he kind of comes back after an injury back into his small town, sort of with his tail between his legs, and wants another shot at success. And so does my character. So they get sort of pushed together, and she trains him, and and then they sort of like kind of re-fall in love with each other. And the script was really sweet, and I'll have to say Trevor Donovan is just a dream. Like, he's just a sweetheart. He's game for anything.
Mm-hmm.
He made my job so easy, and I couldn't ask for, like, I literally won the lottery. He was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited about it. I think it sounds like a lot of fun, and you have Andrea Canning and Nina Wyman, two of our favorites, doing the script, and
Yay!
the director has comedy experience with Schitt's
Jerry.
Creek and other things. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that it'll be a little bit funny, bring some humor into it.
I mean, I have never laughed so hard, but I haven't seen it yet. But I just, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they had to edit around me, but there was a lot of laughter. So I hope they kept some things. I mean, Trevor
Mm-hmm.
was so game for anything. I mean, he really didn't care if he looked like a fool. He would just do it, and he was just hysterical. Like, I just loved watching him. It was joy.
That's so good. Now, do you ski in your real life?
Oh, right. No. So, I no, I didn't tell you this. No, so they asked me, they're like, "You've skied?" And I was like, "Yeah, like, I have skied. I just haven't skied since 1997, but yes, I have skied." And Trevor is, like, in real life, is legitimately incredible at skiing. So, mostly they focused on Trevor, and then they would just, cut to me. And I had a stunt
Sure.
double. No, I cannot ski. Uh, but it was a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
But no.
Where did they film this? You said Ottawa, but is it at a resort or
Yeah, it was a place called Pakenham, and it was a lovely, like, ski community, and we were so nervous because the first couple weeks there was no snow, and we were praying to the snow fairies, and they arrived, and we finally had snow, and it was so incredible. Like, the first leg of the film was really mild weather, and and then when we needed the snow, the gods listened, and
Mhm.
it was just like all these, like, things were falling into place. So yeah, I can't, it was just, like, crazy. Like, they were thinking that they needed to spray the mountain, and then they were like, "Well, actually, it's too mild because you need to be at a certain temperature to spray the mountain." So everyone was really fearful, and then all of a sudden, it just came. The gods that be
Uh-huh.
up there in the clouds made it happen.
They decided to be nice. That was very nice of them.
They decided to. It was very kind of them, and we're so grateful. I don't know what would have happened if we didn't have any snow. So
That's very
it's
good.
been a very, very different film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been very different.
Well, especially this year, it's so weird. I'm here in Utah and no snow, and my friends in Texas, it's snowing at their house in Texas today. I'm like, what is happening with the world? It's all gone
You know what?
crazy.
I've been to Texas before, and it was snowing at that time as well, and I thought, "What is happening?" Like, so that's weird. And also
Yeah,
Utah, I've been to Utah several times. Oh my gosh, it's so breathtaking.
yeah,
Like, are you for real? Like, this is a real place?
yeah.
It was so, like, you think almost just like, "Are you shitting me? Like,
I
this
know.
is a real,
I feel very
beautiful
fortunate.
place."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So you were
really
living in a
good.
fantasy.
uh,
You obviously did something well with your life, so congratulations.
Thank you.
You're in a beautiful place.
Well, I'm really excited for the movie. I think it sounds fun, and so we have some silly questions. Not that we haven't already been very silly, but more silly.
Okay. Mhm.
for you.
Okay,
So you
go for it.
ready? Okay.
Mhm.
First
Oh,
question.
okay,
First question.
go.
Best ice cream flavor.
Um, eh, mm, can I pick 2?
Sure.
Can I pick 2?
We'll allow it.
Mint mint chocolate chip and peanut butter, chocolate, Ben& and Jerry, it's, like, so good.
Mm,
It's so good. Those are my 2.
yeah, that's those good choices. All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue, but I am so allergic to blue makeup and blue dye that it's ironic, but it's my favorite color.
Yeah. You mean even in clothes and stuff, you can have blue?
Oh my
Blue.
gosh, I get no, I'll have it, but I have to, like, wash it repeatedly or else I get, like, blisters and, like,
What?
react. Oh my gosh, and even in
I've never
makeup, like,
heard of
I
that.
found out the hard way. Oh my god, it's the weirdest, it's the
Uh,
most bizarre allergy, like,
uh,
I remember even on Chicago Fire, this is how I found out I was allergic to blue. My eyeballs, like, blew up because they had, like, a blue eyeliner. I mean, I'm not joking, like, I looked um, like I looked like the
I
elephant
mean, that's not
lady.
good if you're in a
So,
show called Rookie Blue and Blue Bloods.
yeah, yep, but I like the color. The color's good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like
That's
me.
funny. I've
It
heard of
wants to.
people being allergic to red. I've never heard people being allergic to blue.
So bizarre. So
That's
it's I can't
funny.
even,
Oh
it took
my
me 14
gosh.
months to figure out what it was. Like, I was like, "What is wrong with me?" I thought I was fine, and it turns out it was my eyeliner.
Oh my
So, yeah.
gosh. That's funny. Okay.
Mm.
Well, what music are you into?
Right now, I have never been more obsessed with Billie Eilish. Like, I can't, me and
Oh,
my daughter,
okay.
like, we this is our, I can't handle, like, her talent is like, I can't, like, when I first heard her, I stopped breathing. I was like, I can't handle this. Like, I just can't, it's so good, and I
Uh-huh.
was so jealous. Like, I was like, I just wish that I had, like, a pinky
Yeah.
of her talent. Like, I can't. It was She's extraordinary.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, back when we used to be able to go outside, what was your go-to date night food?
Well, any night that you're having a date is pretty amazing. I'm a mom, so that doesn't happen frequently. So I would say, like, my favorite word is dinner. Like, that's like, so I'll eat anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to be in my husband's company and be out. Yeah.
Oh. Well,
So
especially
yeah,
now that we're all isolated all the time. Because yeah, then we ask what's your go-to date night activity, and I
yeah.
think we're all agree that it's just getting outside is the go-to date night activity these days.
Yes, yes.
But
Yeah.
pre
Just
pre
like moving your body and
your
yeah.
body
Yes, oh god, those pre-COVID days.
pre
So weird.
pre-COVID,
Such a
what was your
bizarre
favorite
time. It's so
activity?
weird. It's like activity. I mean, I just wanna be with my kid. Like, that's really,
Uh-huh.
I mean, anything, we just did a round of, like, wrestling, so that was pretty fun. Like,
Oh,
yeah, anything with her. Anything with her. We
that's
also
good.
dance, like, she and I dance together, and we do improv, like, and I just like anything with her.
Uh, that's great. Okay. Which do you prefer, dogs or cats?
I oh my gosh, I don't wanna choose because I love all animals, but I have had dogs all, like, for most of my life. So
Uh-huh.
I would say I also have a dog, so if my dog heard me choose a cat, he would be so, upset. Yes, but my daughter's also asking for a hairless cat, so I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And also
Oh.
lizards and snakes and cobras.
Again, you know who has a hairless cat is Jessie Schramm. Yeah, I don't know if you know her. She's an actress. Um, but
So,
anyway,
like,
she has a hairless
did you
cat.
get information about this cat? Like, did she
I
tell you, like, how
no,
she found it? They're so
well,
hard to find.
I don't know how she found it, but I've seen it when I interviewed her. I've seen the cat. But yeah, she has a hairless cat because she has really
Like an
bad
alien.
allergies. So you should try to contact her.
Yeah.
Be like, how did you get your cat?
Well, like, that's my daughter was like, "We can still get a cat, mom. The hairless cat, the Sphinx." I was like, "Oh god, there's a loophole." Like, I was like, "No." I was like, um, so yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to Jessie because,
Yeah.
I need to find a breeder. So, yes.
I think you should. Okay, good. That's what we're
Yeah.
doing at the Hallmarkies podcast. We're cat matchmakers here.
Amazing.
Yes.
Put her in touch with me, okay?
Yeah. Her people with your people. All right. So
Amazing.
which do you prefer, beaches or mountains?
I live in the mountains, but it's close to a beach, so I kind of have the best of both worlds, but I do
Uh-huh.
there's something about the mountains that's pretty,
Uh-huh.
special.
Cool. Good. Would you rather be in a fancy dress or sweats?
I mean, I gravitate towards, like, I love suits. I love wearing a suit. Like, those are
Uh-huh.
like, if I'm gonna go out, my go-to is a suit.
Oh,
But
nice.
in terms of real life, like, I feel like I have a double life as an actress because I in real life, I don't, I'm pretty schlubby, so, whenever I have to, like, try to put myself together, it's always, like, a really big anxiety-inducing thing because I just don't I just always gravitate to a suit.
Nice. That's good. That's very good. Okay. What is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Christmas, and I'm so depressed
Yay.
it's over, it's done,
I
and
know.
I can't I'm just, like, so in such a state of mourning. I still have my tree up, and I have to take it down
Oh.
tomorrow. I don't want to.
It-
I don't want I
I
Christmas is my favorite.
I know. I took mine down this week. It was sad. Very, very sad.
Oh, it's so sad. It's like
Uh,
tree funerals, like,
yeah,
you see all these trees lined up on this it's
I
the saddest
know.
thing. I can't really hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kicking and
Yeah. I
screaming. I
mean,
don't
it's
wanna
a
do
good
it.
thing we have Winterfest movies because we need them post Christmas. It would be
Mm,
too sad.
right.
Uh, very, very good. Well,
Prolong it in some way.
what is your favorite romantic movie?
I mean, we talked about this film this we've talked about this film before, but it's so romantic, and it was, like, the first, like oh my god, I mean, I really was totally into this film was Labyrinth, like, I for me, that
Oh,
was, like,
yeah.
pure romance. Oh my gosh, like, it was
Romance.
yeah, I would
Okay.
say that was it
All
for
right.
me. So
That's good. That's
mhm.
good. All right, good. Okay, you passed the test. You answered all the questions.
Oh, oh my gosh, okay, thank you.
Well, we
Appreciate it.
are very excited for the new movie. It's going to be a lot of fun. You were a delight to talk with. Thank you so much for coming on. And do you have
Thank
social
you.
media that you want to share or?
Oh my god, I'm an old lady, I told you, I don't have anything. I have,
Okay.
you can email me if you want an email, but that's it. Yeah, I don't
Well,
have anything.
well, that's good. That's probably how you may manage to stay sane through all of this. But thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll hope that everything goes well with the movie, and we'll look forward to watching it. And we'll have to have you back on a second time when you. We'll keep an eye on your projects, and we'd love to have you
I would
back.
love to. I would love
It
that.
was great. Let us know if you're listening. If you have any questions or comments about things we talked about, that would be great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And if you are, don't forget to follow the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We have our Patreon group and merch store. So more of that in the description if you want to learn more. And thank you so much, Charlotte. This was a blast. I had a great time talking with you. And yeah, let's do it again soon.
You too.
Bye, everyone.